Sam and Shineless were jogging around the outer ring. They had just passed the trade halls and were nearing the hotel. Sam slowed down and turned off his tunes. "That was some good grizz. Can I get a copy of your playlists?" Sam smiled and held up his arm display. She held up hers and they bumped wrists. His playlist copied over to her. "Sorry I didn't think of it sooner." She looked at the high-ceilinged entrance to the hotel. A large sign in unknown script hung above it, glowing yellow. "We going in?" Sam nodded. "Yeah, I need to check on progress." Sam stepped in as the doors slid open into their slips in the walls. The floor was black, rough, anti-slip. The walls were covered in a fine, soft hair. Sam stepped through the lobby, past several chairs and tables up to the front desk. The desk was low to the ground, about knee height. The obelisks attending the desk scuttled over, their manipulator tendrils just high enough to reach the consoles on the desk. The creatures stared at the humans. "How can we help you too?" one asked. "The preserver season is coming soon. I just wanted to check and make sure you had rooms ready." The obelisk speaking shivered its upper torso. "Yes, we have 12 floors reserved for the arrivals. They have been pre-booked, processed, and held. How can we help you two?" Sam looked around the lobby. "Well, I'm good. How about you, Shineless?" "I'm here with you." She shrugged. Sam waved. "Thanks. Guess you guys have it all under control. Let me know if you need anything." "Let us know how we can help you too," the obelisk said as they left out the doors. Sam started up his playlist and threw the song from his display over to Shinless. "Ready to finish our lap?" "Finish? I can do a couple more." She smiled and started jogging. Sam was getting out of the shower after jogging when Orbit buzzed his home speakers. "Go ahead, Orbit." "A group of Stickians boarded us when the System Lord's family visited. They have gone through proper channels and have requested asylum here, sir." "What do they need asylum for?" "They could just ask normally for housing." "Wait, are they part of Thinwalk's tribe?" "No, sir. Their elder is named Greenfeet. They are escapees from the Systems Lord's mining facility. They stowed away on his ship prior to his arrival here." "Potential blowback?" Sam asked. "Yes, sir. I'm already seeing streams through the local datanet about their disappearance. There is a bounty for their eye stalks. I'm not a fan of Stickians. How big is this bounty?" "Sir, you are displaying the very traits you dislike Stickians for having. Besides, I believe this is a subset of their species. They are diminutive in height and thicker in body, sir." "Sounds like a problem to me. But whatever. Set up a meeting with Greenfoot." "Greenfeet, sir?" "Yeah, him." Sam sat in his comfy office chair, sipping a coffee. Greenfeet sat across from him. "I don't need any problems on this station. Why should I allow you to stay here?" Greenfeet waved his short arms. "My family needs rest. We don't want to toil anymore." "So you want to live here for free, then? You don't plan on helping the station?" Sam took a drink, then spoke. "This isn't helping your case. We will work. We do not want to toil." Greenfeet waved. "You have helped Margot. You have let scribblers stay and work. This is a Felbian station. We can help here. We can help you." "I've had Stickians here before. Your people have proven unruly, arrogant, and a pain in my ass. I don't see why we need the trouble you bring." Greenfeet pulled his eye stalks closer into his head. "They will kill us for abandoning the mines. They have already killed so many. Please save my family. We came here as last resort. We did not want to burden you. We just had no other way." "Orbit." "Yes, sir." "Send an email to the System Lord who visited." "Striped Toes, sir?" "I don't know who he was. The one Greenfeet came in with." "Starting email now, sir. Tell him we have refugees here. They have been granted asylum aboard this station, and that we would like to barter for their pardons." "Sending now, sir." Greenfeet raised his eye stalks. "Thank you. Thank you, Sam. How can we repay you?" Sam sighed. "Orbit, do we have any jobs they can do?" "Yes, sir. Crackletooth is working on the beacon project currently, and could use more laborers." "Good. Set our new refugees up with employment papers. Get them on the EIR insurance and checked out for any parasites. Sending paperwork to the scribblers now on said topic." "Thank you, Orbit." Sam looked at Greenfeet. Don't cause trouble. Don't hurt anyone. Obey our laws here, do you understand? Greenfeet waved his arms. We will help ease the curse of the station. Thank you, Human Sam. Wait, what? Sam asked. Greenfeet was getting up but paused. What? What curse? Sam asked. Greenfeet sat back down. Station was abandoned. It is cursed. To be here is a sign of great bravery, or in my family's case, bad luck. Explain this curse. Is there any merit to it? Greenfeet clicked its hands. It is refuse whole of the universe. Unwanted things arrive here, bad things arrive here. It was deemed a waste to occupy. Sam laughed. Makes sense. Well, we will get you some rooms set up in the old dormitories. Welcome aboard, Greenfeet. Greenfeet got back up. Thank you again. He waved and walked out of the office. Sam finished his cup of coffee in silence. Spitzlittle and her family were suited up in the ship bay, working on the Omega mech. She had primed the Cold Core Model 4, 5.2 based off of human-supplied prints from orbit, and was slipping it into the back of the mech using her own custom robotic manipulators. Her Uncle Clicker was up in the office, ready to activate the power cables. She fastened the massive power core into humanoid machine. It clicked into place, and her cousins hopped in with their riveters and anchored it to the chassis. Spitzlittle let go of her manipulator controls and stared at the masterpiece. It was several stories tall, booster engines mounted on its back, customizable weapon mounts on 4 separate extension arms, missile bays in the chest and shoulders, a beam emitter in the chest, and a large lance gun holstered on its back. Spitzlittle looked up at Clicker and gave him a 4-handed go-ahead. Clicker threw the human-designed latch switch, and power coursed into the mech. The cold core activated, bubbling with the fusion reactions inside, and the mech powered up. Lights throughout the machine lit, and the hands flexed in pre-programmed testing procedures. The ship bay comm channel filled with cheers, hoots, and squeals of excitement. Dan was down in the brig. He had a display installed for the parasite to use with supervision, and was currently teaching the creatures inside how to play poker. The parasite was rebuying chips for the 3rd time. Sam was in his office looking over the trade logs, trying to get a grasp on the station economics. This is crazy orbit. I can't understand this shit. The small purple boy hologram appeared sitting on his desk, kicking its legs. You don't have to, sir. Guachuk has a knack for it, and I keep an eye on his ledgers. Everything is going well. Sam highlighted a large transaction on the Clamcoin records. What is this big sale? The preserver sold one of his specimens to a trader. It was a prized fighting creature. Sam shook his head. He hates losing his creatures. Shit. His kind wiped out the Infinigan for something like that. Orbit looked at the large cerulean crystal on the desk. The Infinigan stole from him, if I recall correctly. This creature he sold willingly and used the funds to purchase rooms in the hotel for numerous females. Sam laughed. How many females he have coming? He has 53 rooms reserved for guests. Some I think are contemporaries, but most I believe are females. I'm kind of jealous. There's always Shineless, sir. Sam sighed. It's weird, Orbit. He stood up, walked over to the coffee pot, and poured himself another coffee. I admit she does stir the feelings in me, but I feel wrong about it. She was my captain. She is less than a year old. That's weird in its own way, and I don't like thinking of that at all. He sat back down and kept looking at the logs. I hope the beacon works. I can talk to Curator. I'm sure she would be happy to help, sir. I'll keep the course. Maybe we may get some settlers one day. Want me to CGI new videos for you? Sam sighed. I hate talking about this with you. He took a sip of the warm coffee. But yes, please do. The preserver pulled off his old outer exoskeleton as the new one underneath hardened. He was thicker, and now had spines off his 3 shoulders and above his eyes. His legs ended in feet that had 2 more extra claws on each. His hands were larger, tri-pincered. He took his old outer skeleton over to an enclosure housing a hairy 3-legged creature. He lowered the shield and tossed in the skeleton. The creature lunged on it and began chewing on it. The preserver raised the shield back up. He walked back to the lab and put on his chest device, stretching as he looped it on. Shineless was out walking in her suit on the outer ring. She stopped and sat down, stretching out. looking at the box spiders building the frame of the casino. Stray ions floating through space struck the weak magnetic field around the station, creating wisps of green and pink. She smiled watching it. 3 ships full of preservers docked at the port. A 4th, red craft, docked at the last berth. The preservers stood waiting as a mass of preservers entered. The new arrivals began bobbing as they circled him. He stood taller, extending to his full height as his 3 legs pulled in and pushed up. He raised his arms up toward the ceiling and began humming loudly. The circling herd hummed in response, a wave of bobbing bodies cantering around him. Sam stood leaning in the corner. "Orbit, you're going to save this, right?" "I save everything I can, sir," he answered in his earbud. "Good, 'cause this shit is weird. It's like watching some Galapagos birds or something." "I can see that cross-reference, sir." The preserver lowered himself back down to normal height and pushed through the circle. "Everyone follow. I will show you our zoo." He led them down the hall, and the mass of preservers followed. Sam watched as the last left down the hallway. "I bet they would taste good, you know it." "I advise against eating sapients, sir," Orbit said. "Is joke." Sam sighed, and then noticed 5 red-cloaked figures exit from the gantry and into the entry hall. The figures moved on a mat of pink tentacles and continued through the entry hall and into the inner ring halls. "Who are they?" Sam asked. "Their ship is new to the registry. They refer to themselves as followers of the Forgotten, loosely translated, of course." "Of course." Sam watched them disappear around the corner. "They look similar to that guy that gave me the headache." "You referring to the non-existent creature that you claim to be on board with the crawfishian, sir?" "He existed!" Sam shouted, and started walking toward the halls. "I looked right at him." "Ever consider you may have misremembered or hallucinated, sir? You have been in the same environment for quite some time. It is bound to produce some unwanted captivity mindsets." Sam nodded. "True, that is a possibility." A funeral was being held in the Scribbler Law offices. One of their larger rooms with silver metal walls covered in fine, detailed etchings had a scaffolding erected. A teacher scribbler was on the highest tier of the scaffolding, pointing at etchings with a toothpick-sized wand. "You younglings shall see here the great law work done by our Pratwafagachet. He successfully saved a young human from the violent whims of a large male. Take notes. May you have such success in your lives." The group of 300 young scribblers answered in unison. "May we be as useful to the tribe." The preserver was sitting in a booth at the Grazeran cornucopia. The rest of the booth was filled with females of every color. One leaned over him and whispered in his ear hole. Another female pulled her off him. "You get your turn. I have his ear now," she said. He touched one of her knees. "What are you going to have to eat?" She clicked the menu with her large pincer hand. "I will try this sandwich BLT. I've heard about it on the datanet. The humans have a knack for putting odd things together, don't they?" The preserver bobbed. "This station is proof of that. My human Sam takes in every stray, uplifted species he finds. You should see this stringer parasite he has locked away. It is unique. I think the guild will enjoy it." "A parasite? It have some interesting properties, I take it?" she asked. "Oh yes. It replicates quite quickly and uses chemically triggered pulses to stun and take over other living creatures. It has numerous prior unknown preservatives encoded in it. Quite remarkable." She touched his torso. "You will share your data with me?" He bobbed his body. "I will give you all a tour of my data stores." The females around the table started bobbing in excitement. Sam was in the arcade, playing a warfare simulator with 4 of the younger and Finnegan brood, when 3 of the red-cloaked creatures entered. Sam finished the round in 3rd place, having been spawn-camped for a 4th of the match. "Screw you guys. That's fucking cheap." One of the younglings clacked its mouth. "You are a sore loser, Sam." Sam took off his VR helmet, laughing. "Against you guys, I'm just a loser. Can't help being sore after that pounding." Sam stopped still, staring into hoods of the 3 creatures. Inside each cloak was a large pink worm. Each had their tooth-ringed mouths open. "Holy fuck," Sam said, startled. The creatures made some bubbly noises. "We do not mean to make you afraid. We find you interesting. You are the human of this station, correct?" Sam nodded. Yeah, this is my station. He put up his hand, motioning them to back up. "Give me a bit of space, all right?" The three robed worms looked at the floor and moved backward, gliding on their tendrils. They looked back up at him. "Is this space good for you?" The forward one bubbled. Sam nodded. "So I'm interesting to you? What, I smell good? You thinking about eating me or something?" The creature bubbled again. "No, you are still far too fresh. We do think you have a unique scent, though. We are interested." "Interested in what? I'm sorry. I'm not, what?" Sam said. "We have explored here. We like it here. We wish to start a home here. You're offering residence here, correct?" Sam sighed with a smile. "Oh, good. Yeah, you can rent an apartment if that's what you want." "No. We would gladly pay for a new addition. We need it specifically designed. Can you accommodate?" "Orbit? You listening?" "Yes, Sam. I am actively translating for you. What is it you wish?" "Orbit. Thoughts on building them a place?" "Yes, sir. They have 12 members and have offered to sell their ship to us in exchange for a small custom-made apartment. I am looking over their designs now." He was quiet as he looked for a second. "Their designs are foreign, but easily doable. They do have a unique air requirement, a blend of ammonia and other trace elements. Would you like me to start the build procedures, sir?" Sam looked at the hagfish-looking creatures in the robes. "Do your people intend any harm to anyone aboard this station intentionally or unintentionally?" The three robed figures faced their mouths to one another, and then looked back at him. "We do not think so." "All right. I agree to the deal." Over at the hall leading to the brig, a fourth hagfish alien looked at the far door containing the parasite. It stood for several minutes, silent, unmoving, watching the door.